Okay. Welcome everyone. We are live streaming the sun. Live from sunny Southern California, almost 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. We are live streaming through a smart telescope through the Seestar S50. Hi John, thanks for joining again. Thank you everyone for joining. Monitoring still the sun, everyone. We're monitoring the sun because we know we've got intense solar maximum right now and some awesome sunspots. Check them out. We're gonna zoom in. This is the same sunspot we were looking at yesterday too, AR3691. I called it, or another viewer called it the frowny face sunspot. I have it in a different position now, so it's not going to look like a frowny face, but if I turn it the other way, it will. Let me see if I can. Maybe it won't. That's all right. There it is. I think it's the biggest sunspot right now. It is. Absolutely. It absolutely is. It's looking great. The sun is looking awesome today. We've got some clear skies out here today. Beautiful day. Gotta take advantage of this and live stream the sun. And let me bring you guys some awesome news. Some awesome news from the Space Weather Prediction Center, because I've been monitoring this intense solar activity. Let me know if you're loving this live stream of the sun, everyone, and hit me with the like. So today, we have some very interesting reports from forecasters, meteorologists, from the Space Weather Prediction Center. Not many hours ago today, intense solar flares from the same region that caused the northern lights, the aurora borealis, 2 weeks ago. So this is good. The same sunspot that was causing this 2 weeks ago, that was causing the northern lights, aurora borealis, is still hanging around. And the only thing, it's in the southeast limb of the sun. There was this really dense coronal mass ejection several hours ago. So it's going to be another long and active 2 weeks. So we got to do as much live streaming of the sun as possible. Welcome, Ayush, Chaudhary, Michael. Thanks for joining this live stream of the sun through a smart telescope. So the sun is insanely active, guys. Basically, I thought it was interesting. Another meteorologist, space expert, mentioned this is I'm grabbing this from experts on Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, now known as X. Hello, Nabil. Thank you for joining. And this particular weather forecaster, meteorologist, this particular specialist in space weather, is saying that AR3664, which was the region that caused the northern lights, once again, as I was saying 2 weeks ago, it's like it's recharging and it's having a grand return because it's still there. We can't see it right now through this telescope, but that's okay. We know it's actually on the southeast limb of the sun. So probably somewhere around here. We can't see it. We can't see those flares with this small, we have a small scope. Mighty, but it's small. Okay, so this is not one with the hydrogen alpha filter where we can see solar flares and things like that. But where this flare is located, this monster flare that had caused the the northern lights, the aurora borealis 2 weeks ago all over the world. It's in an area, it's kind of too hidden away from us towards the back, so it's difficult for us to look at it. We can't see it. But it is definitely charged and active, and it could definitely come its way back towards us because it's definitely alive still. It's not weak. It's not weakening. It's not weakening, so yeah, so that region is not fully visible on the sun disk yet for us to analyze it, but we know experts are able to see, with better telescopes, parts that we can't even see. So I cannot see, obviously. And the solar flare AR3664 is not directed at Earth right now at its location, so that's why we will not be getting any northern light or borealis today. We have to wait. We have to wait. We're going to keep monitoring the weather, space reports, all of that. That's what I'm here for. So they are not, these solar flares are not, that one in particular that caused the northern lights, those X flares, the G4, G5, that one as of now is not aimed towards Earth. It's away from us. So that's why we're not going to be seeing any northern lights. Let me move the sun there a little bit. You guys can see a little bit more sunspots there. It is in a way building strength, because like meteorologists are saying in space weather experts, it's like it's in for another long and active 2 weeks. So that's wonderful, Nabil. Congratulations, you're teaching physics and astronomy. It's wonderful. Another space weather aurora website today mentioned several hours ago. You can find them on Twitter, you know, or on X. They are a space weather aurora website run by a radio station in Ontario, Canada, Ontario. And this is awesome, guys. So this was just 2 hours ago. This was just 2 hours ago, actually. Mentioned that the sunspot belonging to old AR3664 is turning into view, confirming once again what I just mentioned from off the southeast limb of the sun. Okay, here we go. So this was posted 2 hours ago. I actually had not seen this, and I've been looking up stuff like crazy. This is awesome. Check it out, guys. So this, like I said, Space Weather Aurora website expert is saying, and they're monitoring this, we will get a better look at what remains of the flare producing machine during the next 24 hours. So the remaining, the AR3664, okay, we're going to keep monitoring. Then for the next 24 hours, we'll get a better idea of this. Awesome. So only minor flares this morning, but like I said, they were not directed directly towards Earth as of right now, as of today, but we're gonna wait another 24 hours and see what they say. That's awesome news. Yeah, if you guys go to any the Space Weather Prediction Center website, you can actually see the flares from earlier today, from hours ago, off the southeast limb of the sun. Looking incredible. Incredible stuff. For some of you, this is your first time joining this live stream. Make sure you subscribe. And yes, I have other videos of live streams of deep space. I do nighttime live streams as well of deep space, of galaxy, nebula. I did one last night of globular clusters. It was awesome. I know some of you that are here right now were probably also on last night. So thanks for joining. We had an awesome live stream yesterday, imaging deep, deep space. You can check it out if you didn't get a chance to watch it. Feel free to hit the live tab on this channel page, Astro Room, and you can check it out, the rerun of nighttime deep space. We've got some busy sun activity, guys. Busy sun activity within the next 24 hours or so. I mean, they said 2 weeks, but in particular, they're going to be looking at the next 24 hours for these X solar flares from the same region that caused the Northern Lights 2 weeks ago. It was interesting that when I was doing this live stream during the 2 days or so of the intense solar activity, that like many space agencies such as SpaceX were worried about disruptions with communications with their satellites and things like that, because we know like when the sun gets more and more intense with these coronal mass ejections, with the solar flares, the activity that we're at right now, this doesn't happen every day. Right? They're concerned about disruption of communications. And that day that I was streaming, I don't know if some of you might remember that my telescope kept getting disconnected. I kept just losing everything while I was live streaming. It was crazy. I'm glad everything's awesome right now, but it was a difficult day to be live streaming. And I keep wondering still to this day, like, was it because of you know, there were disruptions with radio, with communication and things like that because of the intense solar maximum cycle that we're going through right now. And you better believe it, if within the next few days or so, whether it's 24 hours or within these next these 2 weeks, if we're gonna get some insane sun activity, you better believe it, I'll be live streaming. I'll be live streaming even more. Because like I said, this doesn't happen every day. This is an intense solar maximum cycle that we're going through. Happens about every 11 years. And it's exciting. Nothing to be afraid of. It's actually exciting. Interesting that communications can cut off. You know, it happened, I mentioned it before, it happened in Sweden. Power went out in 2003 the last time an intense solar flare happened. So this stuff is real, guys. And it knocked out transformers in South Africa in 2003. And you can look it up. This is legit. This is news. Remember, I'm always trying to bring you guys accurate information. Hello, Stefan. Welcome again. See if I can zoom in. How is this gonna look here? Hey, let me know where you're watching from, everyone. Looks like someone's in Saudi Arabia. Welcome. Let me know what time it is in your location. All of you. We are looking at the sun live through a smart telescope. For those of you just joining. This is the same spot, the one that I'm zoomed into. This is AR. Did something just fly across the sun again and I missed it? I'm always missing it. Sometimes there's birds, all kinds of stuff. I'm hoping to catch a plane. Thank you to all of you watching from Europe, watching in the US, watching from Washington State. This is an intense sunspot. You guys see this. I'm going to zoom out. You can see the whole sun disk, okay? But if you look at this, you see I was zoomed in towards the top right. That's the biggest sunspot right now. Very active. Sometimes we're looking at the sun, you know, as I would say a couple months ago or so, and there's no spots. You don't see any spots. But there's intense activity, so that's why we're looking at so many. So there could be another solar storm that will hit again. That's right. I have my telescope on a different tripod today, so I'm excited to try this. A little bit more sturdy than the one I was using before, which is the default one that comes with this scope. And I'm actually using my tripod that belongs to my Celestron Nextstar telescope. Pretty cool. Another one of our viewers, actually, if you are on, let me know. Carlos had mentioned to me in some of the comments that just today that they were using it and it fit and it worked, and I hadn't really tried it because the tripod that comes with this telescope is awesome. It's just so little and stuff, and you have to be bending down on the ground all the time. But and I'd say it's pretty sturdy because I've never had issues with it, even though I battle some intense winds. It's never fallen or tripped over or anything. So, but I wanted just something kind of high up, so I have it on a nice tall tripod right now. And right now I'm using the solar filter that's built in. Not built in, but it comes with this. It's a separate piece that comes particularly fitted for this telescope. It comes with this telescope. Thanks for subscribing. We've got a lot of new subscribers today, and people first time joining too. Thanks. More subscribers, the better, guys, because I know then that you guys are appreciating me coming on, doing live telescope streams. I'm not sponsored by any company, so I love your support. Thank you. And the more you hit the like button and all that, YouTube will keep pushing this out. You know, it'll keep pushing out this live stream to other people who are interested in space. And share it with others too, guys. Family members and friends you think might love space, looking at space live. Send them the link. Let me zoom out a little bit of this. Oh, it looks like, let me see. Let me zoom in a little bit there. Let's see the bottom here. Let me see, guys. How does this look? Check it out. John Daly, thank you for letting me know you got a ZWO TC40. I'll look into that too. Mine's working out great right now, my tripod. It's funny, it took me, let me know if any of you guys have this telescope too, and when you've changed tripods, was it hard for you to like track and find your space object? It took me a little bit longer to set up after I had put on this new tripod, but you know, it is what it is. It's almost like the Seestar knew that I had changed tripods. I was like, what is going on? But it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. We got it running and we're live with the sun. Guys, feel free to send me a super sticker or super chat. It's kind of fun. If you notice right there, right next to the chat, there's like the emoji happy face, and then there's a little dollar sign, but you can send super sticker, super chat, and it's going to highlight your chat. It'll actually support my channel. You can send any amount, as little as you want, as much as you want. And the super cool thing is you'll see it's going to blow up on the chat, and it's going to have it huge. If you want to bring attention to anything you want to say, questions, things like that, it'll highlight it for me and for everyone else on the chat. They're called super stickers and super chat. It's pretty cool. And it brings support to the channel. So thank you. No pressure. And I'm on Instagram, guys. If you want to follow me, feel free to follow me. Put a little link there in the description in the chat. Let me move the sun a little bit out here so you guys can see that a little bit better. If it looks a little shaky right now, it's just battling winds as usual. I have some, it's kind of 12 to 14 mile per hour winds right now. Despite that, a beautiful day. It's sunny obviously, and it's 73 degrees right now, 71, 73. Wind gusts 14 miles per hour. So this is the Seestar S50 Smart Telescope. Stefan McNamara, thank you. Thank you for your super chat. Awesome. I know you've been on before, if I'm not mistaken. Thanks, Stefan. Make sure when you subscribe, guys, hit the little bell button notifications. That way you'll know when I do future streams. I don't just do the sun. Most of you already know I do deep space at night as well. Live galaxy or nebula, star clusters, star systems, you could say. Beautiful stuff that we can see through telescopes. I love bringing this content to you guys. Thanks. Thank you. This community continues to grow, the Astro Room. It's awesome. I cannot, honestly, guys, I can't continue this without your support. So all of you that have been subscribing since the beginning, I've got some longtime supporters, one of them being John Diley on here. Thank you so much. Like, it just... all of you who have been, like, even since day one, this channel has been growing pretty quickly. It's only been up for a few months, but it's grown even way faster than what I expected. Thank you. Let me see if I can actually, guys, I want to... Oh, yeah. Check it out. So I'm looking it up right now. There's a special report from Forbes, the Science Center. The sunspot that unleashed historic auroras and solar storm is back with more. That's exactly what I was saying, you know, what is it, a few minutes ago? What that the Space Weather Prediction Center was saying, and meteorologists and space experts, it's coming back around. That is wonderful. So yeah, so today, Monday, that same sunspot, which was generating historic and widespread aurora in the Northern Lights 2 weeks ago, where people were seeing the Northern Lights in the Bahamas, in the tropics, in London, in Miami, in Houston, Texas, all over, places that had never seen it. That same spot has rotated back into view slightly of the surface of the sun. So it already unleashed Class X solar flares early today. They're saying early today, Monday. So yeah, check out these awesome reports, guys. So from the Space Weather Prediction Center, from NOAA, you can see live videos of that. It's a very strong solar flare, very strong. So the higher the number of the flare, the stronger the intensity of the flare, and this is what can cause the radio and other communication blackouts on Earth. I wonder if they reported any. I'm sure, I maybe not, because it's not as strong yet, since it was 2 weeks ago, and I'm sure there were some reports of stuff because SpaceX was worried about their satellites losing disruption in communications, which was interesting. Interesting that aurora and disruptions to electrical systems are actually more closely associated with the CMEs, or the coronal mass ejections. And these eruptions of charged particles actually take a few days to reach Earth. So very Cool stuff. And those can result in stronger impacts. So this is all taken from, I'm getting this info from a Innovation Science Forbes article. The great article was just released a couple hours ago. So yeah, guys, this space weather is being monitored all the time, 24/7. Let's zoom in again on this, on the biggest sunspot that we know we're having right now. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, so all of this that's happening, this intense activity, basically what it means, everyone, is that we could be in store for an encore of what we saw on May 10th, May 11th. So in the next week or two. Nothing official, no official broadcast at this point. But, you know, they're monitoring closely this stuff, which is why we're also monitoring this closely. More excitement to come. So if this X flare is an indication of more stuff to come, so oh man. We could be in very peak activity right now of the sun. I mean, we are. I mean, this is like solar maximum, pretty much. It's like now, or between now and 2025, like it's just happening right now. So let me point it for you guys on the scope. You guys can, I can get my cursor in there. Oh, there we go. You guys are seeing that. Just to try to explain a little bit, these sunspots, these dark sunspots that you're seeing on the sun right here live, these are planet size. These things are huge. These are planet size spots. This is smaller than what we saw 2 weeks ago. This is still huge. The one we saw 2 weeks ago was slightly bigger, I would say, and it was 16 to 17 times the diameter of Earth. 16 to 17 times, excuse me, the diameter of Earth. So, you know, this stuff is monster big. So these sunspots, like I said, they're planet size, and they're regions of strong magnetic fields on the surface of the sun. And those are the ones that can give out those solar flares and the CMEs, the coronal mass ejections. And this is the interesting thing a lot of people don't know. They appear darker because they're cooler. They're cooler than their surroundings. So it's not that it's more hot there. It's cooler. I mean, we know it's extremely hot no matter what, but welcome Dave, welcome Astro Printer, welcome Jay. Welcome Astro Emma again. So the frequency and the intensity of these solar spots, like I was saying, guys, they basically indicate the level of solar activity during the 11-year solar cycle. So that's why these spots, they always have a name. You know, it's never the same spot that's coming into view. Different size spots and things like that. And a lot of astronomers are just fascinated by them, and it's cool that if you put on solar eclipse glasses, you can't see them unless they're really big. So 2 weeks ago, I could see a giant one. Like, you can, you know, looking at the sun through solar eclipse glasses, through special protection, you can actually see the sunspot, the big one, the one that caused the aurora borealis. It was really neat. It was really neat, because usually if you're wearing eclipse glasses, you're looking at the sun, you can't see the sunspots. They have to be significantly big. AR3691 is that one right there. So yeah, these sunspots formed by the sun's magnetic field. Definitely these, if you have a telescope with the hydrogen alpha filter, most definitely this looks insane, incredible. You can see the flares, right? But it's cool that for people who don't want a complicated setup, or like for people who are beginners into astronomy and astrophotography and things like that, getting a little mini smart telescope, it still makes it fun. It's awesome to look at the sun and show your family and friends. Let's look at, I'm looking up right now the sunspot regions map from today. I actually posted it already on my Instagram account, guys. I posted it yesterday comparing what the Seestar can see, what this telescope is seeing. It's exactly the same thing from the Space Weather Prediction Center, the exact same sunspots. That's how you know this telescope is awesome. It was the exact same thing that I was looking at, and if you check out my Instagram, you can see pictures of the live stream from yesterday of looking at the sun, and the same exact sunspots from Space Weather and NASA Space Weather Prediction Center, and their labeled sunspots is the exact same thing we were looking at, or we're looking at right now too. So yeah, AR3691 is that one right here. The biggest one right now. (3690), 3693. And these two right here, 3686, 3685. Let's take a little poll, guys. What do you guys like more? Looking at the view. Let me show you guys. Looking at this view. Stay here like this for a little bit longer? Or do you prefer to see the full disc? Oh, this, guys? Okay. I love it. I hear you. Let me flip it. Let me flip it. I have it on a, it's just the way the image is connected, my app connected to my telescope. This is the image that I'm getting on a vertical view. But we can most definitely flip it if you want to see it more the way space weather prediction posts their sunspots and things like that. Let me get it in better view for you guys. Looks like the full disc is winning or won on the poll. Okay. I'll be switching back and forth though, guys, but that's cool to know. The full disc is king for now. Zoom out a little bit here. Let me get you guys a full disc view here. How's that? Look at that beauty. Is it pretty centered? Yeah, guys, so it's a beautiful shot here that we have, and thanks to this, right, we have life. If it wasn't for the sun, that's true, Stefan. Astro Printer, thanks. Yeah, I have it in the field of view, the way it is, the way that it really should be, and the way you can really look at each sunspot right now in the correct placements that Space Weather Prediction Center and NASA and NOAA also put it on their sites. We get the sun disk. Actually, sometimes I think it depends on your device too. Let me check out another device here. How is that looking? It's right in the center, right? Or it's pretty, the whole thing, you can see it there, yep. For sure, we're hoping for another large CME for more aurora. Absolutely. Guys, check it out. I have another question for y'all. Let me know. So, do you have a telescope, or do you want to get one, or do you have this one? Let me know. We've got another poll here. I'm curious. I'm curious. I'm running another poll. Anyone can see the sun from their front yard or backyard. Isn't that awesome with the little mini telescope? Eight votes. Let's see, can we get 10, 12 votes? Yeah, once you get your scope, it's like you're addicted. And then you want more and more, huh? So, Stefan, you don't have the Seestar yet. I'm recommending it, of course, to everyone. It's such a great scope. Just an easy setup. Easy go-to. It's fun. It's got scenery mode. I went to the beach earlier this morning and I was doing everything with this telescope just on scenery mode. It was really cool looking at vessels, ships, crude oil tankers. And I mean, I could read the letters on these tankers. And I mean, these were far out. It was so cool. I was zooming in, taking video. I'm gonna do a whole separate video on this channel. But it was just the scenery mode. It was awesome. You take this stuff out camping, out to nature, zoom in on mountains. It's incredible. It's incredible. So what's the consensus on the vote here? Do you have a telescope or do you want to get one? Which one has won so far? That looks like the majority on here have one already. Cool. Those of you that don't, this is the best thing ever. But it's okay. I'm here to bring you the live streams of live space, live telescope. That's nice, Dave. You're going to be looking at planets with your C8. Welcome, SL. I see you on the chat. You have a Lunt. Wow, you borrowed one? That's fun. From a local Astro Club. Nice. It was really cool, guys, when I was looking at the ships at the beach. You know, it was cool. I could grab surfers. I was trying to do the tracking mode. I'm going to have a separate video on all of this. But yeah, I could, you can track, you can center it and track a certain object. I had some yachts in view. I'm going to show you guys this, I'm telling you. You will see a video of this. I had some yachts in view, and I was trying to use the tracking mode, but if they were going super fast, my Seestar couldn't keep up with them and keep tracking them. But the stuff that was a little bit slower, sometimes even surfers were in there. But once I caught sight of the ships, of the vessels, it was really cool. And then you can zoom in and see where they're from. Then I looked it up on the maritime websites. I was having so much fun because like literally, like, you know, I saw one from Panama. I saw one from Hong Kong. They'll have the name of the vessel on the ship, and the Seestar can read it that far out. They were far, guys. It was so cool. I could just zoom in and read the name of the vessel with this telescope. Look it up on the maritime, the vessel websites. And I found the exact ship with the vessel number. It told me how long it had been sitting out there, where it came from, where its next destination was. It was really neat. And it said, you know, the New Pearl from Hong Kong, and it had the Mandarin or the Cantonese letters. It was really, really neat. And then I saw another one that was from Panama, and it said Panama right on the ship, really big, right? Like I could see it with my scope, with the Seestar. So if you guys, I recommend, if you have this telescope, go out there on your scenery mode, right? Like, you know, during the daytime, and see what you can get, whether you're out camping, out in the mountains, wherever you are, and you have beautiful scenery, or you're at the beach. It is really cool. It is really cool. It'd be fun to actually live stream and show how it looks, but I'll put a video up eventually of that. I gotta get that video ready and show you guys how it was. That's cool, John. Reviewing, your local club reviewed smart scopes. The Seestar won. You know, to be honest, a lot of it, I still want the other smart scopes too, because I love smart telescopes. I love you know, the Vespera, the Dwarf, and all of that. If you guys have those, let me know in the chat. I'm learning from a lot of you guys that a lot of you have more than one of these smart scopes. But what I have noticed that's very interesting is some viewers have told me you've returned a dwarf scope and instead kept the Seestar, or got a Seestar instead, and you're loving this one in particular. There's just something about this scope. There's just something about this telescope. And that the setup with this one is just quicker, it's faster. Even beats the Vespera, according to one user that told me yesterday with the setup. It's faster. That's pretty cool. If you're just now joining, we're looking at the sun live through a smart telescope. Feel free to subscribe. A lot of new people on that have never been on. Thank you for supporting. Yeah, that's the thing, the ease of the software, you know, and we get updates, right? You know, despite the relatively short focal length, it is very nice for deep sky imaging. We're waiting for that mosaic mode. We're waiting for that. It's gonna come out. I'm telling you, they're gonna push it out. It's gonna be in an update. It's gonna be in an update. Because they're pushing out updates like crazy. So for what you pay for this telescope, what you get, worth it. Because it's great for deep sky imaging, great for star clusters. If you were here last night when I was live imaging deep space globular cluster, the star cluster of Hercules M13, it was incredible. It's great to capture, you know, Orion, everything. We're just waiting for that mosaic mode, but it's, you know, it's for sure it's gonna come out soon. We know because they've already confirmed, and they've already confirmed they're working on the new scope, on a new one too. But from what we understand now, the mosaic mode should be pushed out as an update. We shouldn't have to wait for another new version of the Seestar. So if you can get this now, if you don't have it, get it while you can. I have a link in the description of this scope if you're curious to learn more about it. In any video on this channel, you can look at the link in the description for this telescope. Do your research, get it from wherever you'd like. Whoa. Thanks, everyone. I'm getting close to 2K subscribers. Is that what you're saying, John? Or this is so cool. This is crazy. This is awesome. That's all thanks to you guys, all y'all supporting. The final time last night, you know what? It was crazy. It was about 90 minutes. It was 89 minutes. So about an hour and a half, 10-second exposures. It was such a fun live stream with all of you yesterday. It was so fun last night. So if AR3664 is on the southeast limb, the one that caused some insane solar flares today, it's gonna be what? Somewhere here. All of you lovers of seeing the sun zoomed in with the sunspots. Here we go. Gotta love it. Is anyone thinking of getting the Dwarf 3 telescope? If you know what I'm talking about, let me know. So my understanding is that there will be another poll, guys. Let me know. My understanding of the new Dwarf 3 telescope is that we'll be able to, or you will be able to get the Milky Way, which the Seestar cannot get the Milky Way. We know that. It cannot. But pretty exciting to know. Let me know, what are you guys thinking? The new Dwarf 3 smart telescope that I put up on, right there on the poll. We're getting some votes. Let's see if we can get at least 15 votes. I'm curious what you guys are thinking. right, can we get a couple more votes? Let's see, and I'll close the poll. So, yeah, May 30th, right? May 30th is the release of the Dwarf 3. I don't know if they're going to go live or something, or they're just going to, you know, it's going to be up on their site. They're going to talk about it. That will be interesting day. A lot of people are like counting down for that day, especially anyone who already has a Dwarf telescope. But what's cool is that the Seestar still beats all of them. Dwarf telescope, Vespera on pushing out updates. That's my understanding from what all my viewers are saying. All of you guys have told me, which is pretty neat. The Seestar, this ZWO always pushing out updates to this scope, firmware updates all the time. Okay, about half and half. Dwarf, maybe, I guess a no mostly. It's all good, it's all good. I was just curious. That's right, Astro Emma. Okay, specs release early order. That's what it was, John. Thanks. Yeah, so there's like a pre-order special or something. You know what? I'm going to be honest. I wish I could have pre-ordered the Seestar, because I would have, you know, when you pre-order and stuff, the cool thing is that you get it at a very at a lower price, right? And sometimes if you wait too long, then it's out, and then they bump up the price by $100, $150, and you're like, man, I should have gotten it when it was a pre-order, and now when it's like becomes popular and everyone's getting it. But yeah, this will be interesting. This will be interesting. Kind of half and half, you guys, with the yes and the no with the Dwarf 3. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, we can never have enough telescopes, you know. Don't we just all love having more than one? Let me zoom out a little bit here. I want to zoom in on the southeast limb where AR3664 is supposed to be. I just want to look. I'm not expecting to see it, but miracles do happen. Let's see. I'm checking every day, guys. Every couple hours, I'm checking Space Weather Prediction Center, NOAA, NOAA, right? See what they're saying regarding this solar maximum and regarding the AR3664, if it's coming back. I'm hoping that I have clear skies so I can see Aurora Borealis if it comes back. We're waiting and waiting. Anyone, is this your first time joining? Or first time seeing live telescope the sun through the telescope? Anyone imaging tonight has have clear skies? Welcome Zachary and welcome Bruce. We're looking at the sun live through Smart Telescope. Thanks for hitting the like button, guys. Make sure you subscribe. Yeah. John, I hear you, what you're saying. Sunspot is changing. You know what? Even at what the difference of what I'm looking at from yesterday to today, it's changed. It's changed a bit. I can tell because I was on this for hours yesterday too, looking at the sun, and you can kind of see some changes. It's pretty cool. That's the fun thing about this hobby, about astronomy, is it's ever changing. It's active. It's alive, right? These objects that we're looking at, so to speak. There's always activity going on with them. Glad you found my channel, Astro Printer. Thank you. First time. Zoom out. Let's zoom out. Let me see if we've got any other updates. Any other updates from space weather prediction? So yeah, 15 hours ago, I don't know if that's the one you're talking about, Zachary. Oh no, this you're saying a couple weeks ago, but 15 hours ago, according to a solar physicist, I'm looking at his Twitter page or his X page. He's a solar physicist, Keith Strong, if you want to look it up, Dr. Keith Strong. And He posted 15 hours ago a violent flare from the sun. It looks insane. And that flare created a CME, coronal mass ejection. And this is what's crazy. So that X flare caused a strong radio blackout event. But this affected radio signals over most of Asia, Eastern Europe, Africa, and towards the Indian Ocean. But it says it's too far east to be geo-effective, so aurora unlikely at this time. This was posted about 15 hours ago. 15. Yep. So, oh man, what? So yeah. That's possibly because of the return of AR-3664. Huh. The one on the southeast limb. Okay, that is very interesting. Let's wait another 24 hours, see what happens. Okay, Zachary, thanks for letting me know. Max Millennium. Astronomy Kid, what's going on? Yeah, we're looking at the sun live through smart telescope. That's right. I want to mention something real quick about my tripod that I'm using. If you joined me earlier when I started about an hour ago or so, or an hour and a half ago, I mentioned that I'm using a new tripod. This is the difference that I'm noticing, which I'm very happy about now that I'm thinking about it and observing and paying attention to the fact that it's stable. It's a heavier pod. It's a heavier tripod, so I've got winds. So I've said it several times already. I battle with heavy winds here in my location. This is, I mean, not every day, but I mean almost every day. And if you're from Southern California, you know what I'm talking about. You live towards Southern California, in particular like Orange County area and all of that, we get something called the Santa Ana winds, and they can be fierce. So nothing fierce today, but it's been the same around this time. Yesterday it was the same, like 12, 14, 15 mile per hour winds, and that will affect my scope. Like that does affect it. And you know, the Seestar telescope, like I would have the tripod that comes with the Seestar, it's sturdy, but when it's windy, it's hard. Like it makes whatever I'm looking at shaky. Like if I'm looking at the moon, right? If I'm looking at the sun. So I decided to put it on my Celestron tripod today, or just that, you know, you don't have to use the Celestron one in particular. I know some of you have some other ones, but it's all good. But a heavier one, a more heavy duty one, and it's really helping with the stability of my sun, with the telescope, let's say, you know, with looking at the sun or whatever I'm looking at, it's not shaking, it's not wobbling as much. I was using like a windscreen, so to speak. John, you were mentioning it yesterday. Yeah, like I was having to use like a storage container to block the wind from hitting my telescope, you know, but I decided, you know what? I love the ease of the little tripod that comes with the Seestar telescope, but it's you know, I love that because it's just so easy and it's not heavy and you just bring it in and out of the house so easy. And it's so easy to pack, but it's cool. I have it right now. This might be my go-to now. I'm just going to keep it on this tripod that I have right now, the big one. Yeah, for sure. Thanks, John. And welcome, Jesus. Bienvenido again. Welcome, Jesus. The tracking is just excellent on this scope. It really is. We actually were pushed out updates. The Seestar pushed out a recent update. The most recent one is for better sun and moon tracking. It was like called enhanced sun and moon tracking. Pretty cool. It does a great job. I would say it does a great job. I mean, I have sometimes imaged the sun for 4.5 hours. That was the longest that I've ever done, about 4.5. I wasn't live streaming it that day, but it was just me literally testing the tracking, and I was getting ready for the eclipse. And it did a great job for that long. Did a great job. Yeah, the tracking is awesome with this scope. I mean, I actually, you know what? Can I show it on here? I've got, you know, it has a little tracking mode thing where you can like press tracking. But I haven't used it at all since I got on the stream. So what is this, an hour and a half? About an hour and a half now? And I haven't, I didn't need to press tracking. Yeah. Pretty cool, actually. It, you know, like I leave it on, so right now, actually, let me show you guys. I didn't need to press tracking because now that I realize that I remember I hit sync in the Sky Atlas. And then I always go to video mode and tracking. Let me show you. You see how I have it? I have the tracking on. The centering. Make sure the sun stays in the center. I always want to have all this on green. Tracking. And it's just tracked it perfectly for the past hour and a half. And I know it can do more. Like I said, I've had it for 5 hours on the sun, and it's staying on there. It's staying 100%. Yeah, even with the moon, it does a great job of tracking the moon. Yeah, the Seestar comes with its own sun filter. You attach it to the scope. And obviously not hydrogen alpha with this scope, or, you know. Yeah, people have gotten other filters to look at the sun with the Seestar. Well, it'll look white. I think that's pretty cool too. But I do like this view of the sun. The white view is kind of cool too. It's kind of neat. Has anyone tried with a different type of solar filter on the Seestar? If you have this telescope? I've heard of people using other filters to get more details on the chromosphere of the sun. Have you tried using any type of half filter, you know, hydrogen alpha? I'm curious. Yeah, Dave. A lot more than the Seestar. Yeah. Hey, I know people do all kinds of stuff. That's why I was asking. Okay, John, you have a dual band filter with the holder? Okay, okay. Haven't tried it yet. Okay. Let me know when you do. Yeah, the white filters are cool too because the sun, you know, yeah. You get a natural color of it, right? Yeah. I want to show you guys my tripod, my scope right now. I hope it can handle my camera that I have. The stream can handle this camera that I want you to see how windy it is, but it's holding out. It's turning out awesome. Let's see if I can get it on there. It's so windy outside. It's so windy. Okay. Let me know if you can see it, guys. There's my scope, giant. And the wind. It's gonna pop up towards the bottom of your chat. Move it up. It looks cool. It's held out pretty well. The stability of the sun with this scope. You know what? It's gonna be my go-to tripod. This is gonna be my go-to. It's so heavy duty, heavyweight. Yeah, I have no weight on, like no additional weight on it to try to get it even, you know, heavier or anything. Because the Seestar is light, right? It's like 6.6 pounds, 3 kilograms. Yep. If you look closely at the trees and everything on my camera, where you're seeing my telescope outside, sometimes you like see like strong wind gusts, like you can see the leaves like crazy. But this tripod is holding out. It's holding this Seestar awesome. Yeah, it's so windy. Oh, it's so windy. Do any of you use other, I know John, you were saying you use other tripods too. Anybody else use any other tripods, or are you sticking with the one with your, that comes with your Seestar? Someone had mentioned to me that it was so windy that it was like almost knocking over their Seestar. I don't know. I mean, I thought I battled with strong winds. I don't know where they were located, but I've had intense wind, and it's never knocked it out, even on my small little, the default tripod that comes with the Seestar. It, you know. Okay, so check it out, guys. Let me turn off my cam. I've got some other buildings and stuff getting in the way of my sun. Thank you for joining my live stream. As you can tell, right there at the top, I'm losing the sun there. It's not setting quite yet, but it will, maybe in another hour and a half or so, but it's my, you know, just my location where I am. My view of it right now is kind of dimming out there because it's getting blocked out by another building. Yep, it is what it is. Thanks, guys. We'll keep monitoring this sun activity. It's been a blast. Make sure you hit subscribe so you won't lose me if this is your first time joining. So hit the like button if you loved this. And make sure you hit the subscribe. Hit the subscribe, guys, if this is your first time. And that way you won't lose me if I go on live again. You don't have to be looking for me. You'll most likely get a notification if you hit the bell button too that I'm going live. It's been so fun. Thank you again, Stefan, for sending me the super chat. Feel free to check out membership too before I go. Anyone's curious, you get some nice little perks if you join a channel membership. Haha, no, that's not a black hole. The black hole is sucking up the sun, guys. That would be cool. No, it wouldn't be cool. We'd be dead. Oh, man. Y'all are hilarious. No, it's not a hole, guys. So this is the... Don't flip out. The sun is not... It's still with us. The sun is still with us. But it's being blocked by a building. As the sun is setting, as the sun is going down, it's being blocked by a building in my location. So my scope cannot track it as well. It's losing it, basically. It's just doing a good job, actually. The tracking is not even about the tracking. The tracking is there. It's just the, you know, as it's moving, as the sun is setting. Whoa, this is actually kind of cool. We're doing a mini eclipse. With the building in the way, it's gone. Thanks, guys. Have a blast with y'all.